Hey, everybody, I'm Anthony, and this is Courtney, and we're here to talk about The Bachelorette. And we're going to be talking about the first 3 episodes. And so, just let's kick it off, Courtney.
What do you want to talk about first?
I guess let's talk about, what's her name, Katie? Right?
Yes, Katie.
Okay, so let's talk about Katie. What are your thoughts about Katie?
Okay, so I actually didn't watch the last season of Bachelor, which she was on, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I am going into this knowing nothing about her and just seeing what I see on the shows. But overall, I think she's pretty cool. I think she's opened up a little bit to the guys, and after her opening up, I can see why she is the way that she is. And that just gave me a little bit more perspective about her, and
Well,
I like her.
she's I guess became pretty famous for being a sex positive
Yes.
person and just being very open sexually and talking about sex. And so it was interesting because last night was episode 3, and she opened up about her history, about what happened to her like 10 years ago, right? Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
So I guess you can just jump into that if you want.
Yeah, well, it just gave me more knowledge about her and why she is the way that she is, why she is so driven by sex. And I think that really made things clear for me, because at first I was like, girl, like, slow it down, okay? Like, keep it in your pants.
That's funny.
But then once she kind of opened up about it, I was like, okay, I get it, but I still don't get it. So I don't know. But overall, I think she's a pretty great person. Like, I think she is really pretty, first of all. I like her personality. She's very outgoing, and I really like, I don't know. I feel like she's opposite of me. I'm not outgoing. I'm more of a soft-spoken, shy, offset person. So, but I think she's a pretty cool person.
Cool. So one of the things that's interesting is, and I want to get your take on this. So those of you guys watching that might not know, Courtney is a pastor's wife.
Yes.
And I'm a pastor, but she's not this pastor's wife.
No.
Okay. The pastor she is the wife of is actually the one filming right now, is on the camera on the other side of the camera, Pastor AJ. And so with that being said, obviously we have certain points of views and perspectives being Christians.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I think this show does well is it's very inclusive. It talks a lot about sex in our culture, and one of the things church doesn't do very well is be inclusive and talk about sex in our culture.
Yes.
We don't talk about those kind of things. Yet the Bible is filled with examples and things about sex. And the reality is that our kids are being inundated with sex everywhere they go, from the grocery stores to billboards to commercials to the shows that they like to watch. Even some of the kids' shows are there's a lot of innuendos and things in there.
Yep.
And so they're getting hit with this stuff at a young age. And I feel like as believers, we don't do a good job of talking about sex. We usually just go, well, wait till you're married.
Yeah.
And then that's our sex talk.
Yep.
But this show actually leaves a lot of space for discussions if you have older kids or just believers sitting around talking about sex anyways, and just, how natural it is. And I think that's one thing I really respect about this show is you have Katie, who has come out as very sex positive. You have Mike, who has come out as a virgin.
Yep.
Okay, but was not shunned in the group for this.
Right.
Okay. And then you have, a couple other people who are just all over the spectrum when it comes to their beliefs and what they think about sex. And so that's one thing that I enjoy about the show is that it forces, I think, people to just kind of talk about some of these things. So
I think it should be talked about too, especially within the church. We should be talking about sex. We should be teaching our kids about sex. And personally, I don't let my 3-year-old watch it with me because she's 3. But if she was a little bit older and a teenager, then I totally would. And that would be an opportunity for me to be able to sit down and have that conversation with her and just to teach her. So yes, I completely agree with you.
Well, good. See, we're off on a good start already. She agrees with me.
That doesn't happen often.
It does not happen all the time. So let's just kind of go through some of this stuff. We talked about Katie. What are some of the things that stuck out from the show so far?
Well, first of all, I think we should talk about the big elephant in the room, and that would be Mr. Chris Harrison.
Oh, Chris not being on the show.
Yes.
Okay. And so go ahead and share what it is you think about that. Does it change the show for you?
It does.
Because when you think of Bachelor or Bachelorette, you think of Chris Harrison.
Right. And he's just been on the show since it started. Ever since Bachelor and Bachelorette, even Bachelor in Paradise, he has been on the show. And to me, it's just different. I'm not a fan of change. I hate change. And with Chris not being on the show, I feel like that is a huge change, especially for all the Bachelor fans out there. And so I don't know. Okay, so I really like Tayshia and what's her name? Caitlin? Is that her name?
I'm not sure. I'm not. For me, I don't pay attention to the host at all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I did watch Tayshia's season and I really liked her.
Yeah.
It's just not the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like when she announced that she wasn't going to do the rose, or she wasn't going to continue with the whatever thing that she was gonna. The cocktail party.
Yeah.
When she said that she wasn't going to continue the cocktail party, I was like, normally that would be where Chris Harrison comes in and says she's not going to continue. Right. So I was like, oh man, like, I don't know. Personally, I really miss Chris Harrison being there. And I think the show is not the same without him. What do you think?
I think there's a lot of things that Chris did behind the scenes that was really good in calming the Bachelor down in last season, to calming the group of bachelors down on the Bachelorette, being able to talk through some of the things, being very straightforward. I thought Chris did a good job in previous seasons of just hitting things in the face and just confronting things when they came up.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate that, in our society right now, our inclination is to cancel people.
Right.
When I think people need grace, they need the ability to change, and if they don't have the willingness to change, then I think you get rid of them. But right. We've lost our ability to have grace in our society right now. It's we go to extremes right now to try to correct, and so we end up overcorrecting situations, and that isolates a lot of people and things. And so I think that's the unfortunate thing. Mm-hmm. I do think that the show needed some change, but it would have been nice to see some of that happen organically. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that's even possible for it to happen organically, or I hope the door is open for him to come back, because I thought he was a good guy.
I've heard that he has officially quit.
Yeah.
I hope that that's not the case, and I hope that he does return. But we shall see.
Yeah, and I know his kid is going to college, and he's a big part of his kid's life. And there was the crazy thing is there were rumors of him quitting before any of this stuff happened.
Mm-hmm.
That this was going to be his last season, and there was rumors about the reason being is his kid is going to, I think, a college in Texas or something, and he had bought a house in Texas to be closer to him, and wanted to take some time off. But I don't know. It's gonna be different. I don't know how I feel about the two gals being the host. I actually learned that they were the co-host from you.
Yeah.
You told me that, and it's interesting. So I like to have a permanent staple, I guess, there.
Yeah. I agree with that. I do like the whole girl power thing, but I do agree that because I think that it's just temporary right now.
Yeah.
But I do agree with they need somebody like Chris Harrison that's gonna stay.
And so I hope they get somebody that's good. For the final rose, did you watch that last season at all?
I did not.
They had, and I can't remember his name, but he was an ex-football player.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a fantastic job. He's just a cool dude that has a lot of insight in like psychology and different things like that, and can really talk through some of these things. And talked through, which another elephant in the room was the racial issue that's always been on the Bachelor and Bachelorette, or just in TV in general.
Yeah.
Not having enough variety or cultural diversity on the shows, and not just on the shows, but in the main positions.
Yeah.
And so he talked through a lot of that, and like I said, I think our society tries to overcorrect things, and when we do that, we don't leave a lot of room for grace and things like that.
Yeah.
So
nope, I agree.
So anyways, my goal is I hope that they heal, and I hope they set things on a good course, and I would hate for the franchise to end because of something like this. That would be my fear.
Yeah. I mean, it has been a long season or time for Bachelor and Bachelorette. Because what is this? It's
like 38 or
something. I don't know.
It's like the 38th season altogether or something like that. Something
yeah,
crazy.
altogether. It's been a lot. It's more than Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, more than MASH, more than Grey's Anatomy, more than all those shows. It's it's a long thing, and I think with anything that's on that long, they have certain elements that work, and so you just stick with it, right? And so it's hard to change something that it's kind of like a machine. And so these machines have gears, and these gears are running, and they always just kind of run on the same timing, the same topics, the same issues. And when the world is changing around it, those gears are still moving in the same way. And those things we have to inject something in there to disrupt that. And unfortunately, it was Chris Harrison, and it was a couple of other things. It's not just Chris Harrison; it's all of the people searching on people's social media, people blowing up their own spots by putting stuff out there that they have no business putting out there. And so all of these things come to a head, and they blew up our gearbox, and now our gearbox has to be kind of rebuilt. And hopefully in the process of rebuilding all of this, they don't ruin what made the show good. Yeah. So let's talk about this season. So we are a little behind. We're 3 episodes in.
Yep.
Okay, and we want to try to do this every week.
Yes, every episode. So we're not jamming it all into one, because this is going to be a lot of information in one podcast.
Yes, it is. So let's just talk through kind of these last 3 weeks? What are some highlights?
Well, let's start with who's your favorite?
My favorite guy?
Yeah. Who's your favorite?
Oh my goodness, I am a sucker for a good love story or a comeback story or underdog. I'm a good underdog kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
And so I really like. So this happened last night on episode 3, the date with Michael.
The one-on-one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Michael is a widower and has a son that is 5 years old now.
Yep.
And man, I'm telling you, when he was opening up, so he wasn't even opening up to Katie at this point. He was opening up to the guys.
Yep.
And had all the guys like tearing up and everything. And it was so, I was like, oh man, this dude is so cool. I hope he wins, And I don't know, he got me. So who's your guy?
It's the sob story.
It
that's why.
It is.
This is a really tough question for me because I actually normally when I do watch Bachelor or Bachelorette that I always have the front runner or my front runner in the very beginning. But this season, I'm just like, man, I don't know. Like, I feel like, I mean, I could be wrong. I feel like there are a lot of good guys on her season. I really like James. But the only reason I like James is because I think he's a little bit attractive. James would be the guy that had the box guy. Yeah, he's the box guy. But
AJ's been working out too, though. Courtney's husband, so yeah. he's been trying to get those arms cut up and stuff. I get it.
My husband's way cuter than any of these guys.
I agree, and he can come home in a box.
I also like the one-on-one that she just went on in this last episode. I liked him because of his sob story, of course. Who was the first guy that she went on her one-on-one with? He also got the first impression rose.
Yes. So that was that the cat dude, Connor?
Was it?
The macaroni guy.
Oh, yeah. What's his name? I've got a sheet. It's our cheat sheet.
Our cheat sheet.
Of all the men.
And you can edit all this out.
I don't know. I can't. It's so hard for me to see their faces on this little tiny sheet. Oh, I like Aaron too. You know why I like Aaron? Because his name is Aaron.
Oh my goodness. Do you really like Aaron?
I do.
I thought Aaron's kind of a tool.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to be one of those guys that does turn out to be a tool, but I don't know. I think right now, he's sticking up for Katie and all the drama that's happening in the house right now, which we'll get to that in a little bit. Because
okay, so, all right. Yeah, we're
going to... Is it Greg?
Was it? Oh, it was Greg.
That is who I like.
Yes,
I like
Greg is a cool dude.
I do. I think he's pretty cool.
Is that who they did a first one-on-one to?
Yes.
And they went camping?
Yes. I think so.
Yeah, and they shared a kiss on the toilet?
Yes. I think he's real. I think he's like legit. And
I do too. So, all right, I'm going to write down some of these front runners real quick.
Okay. Yeah, so I like Greg, James.
All right, so you like Greg.
Yes.
James. We got to put Michael in there.
Yeah, Michael. Don't forget about him.
Okay. You're going through all here. Let me see the one with all the faces.
Yeah, there's Aaron.
Aaron, I can't write Aaron down.
You don't have to put Aaron down.
Aaron is...
You don't have to put him down. That's
Aaron's
okay.
a tool.
That's totally okay. There's the sheet right there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. No, if you want to talk about a tool, let's talk about what's
Carl?
his name? No.
Carl's a tool.
Who's the guy that just started all the drama?
That's Carl. There's Carl and there's Thomas.
No, that's a different... Carl and Thomas. That's two different situations. But let's talk about Cody first.
Cody? Which
that
one's
situation
Cody?
with Cody. This one's Cody right here.
What happened with Cody?
You don't remember what happened with Cody? Okay, so
Cody and Aaron.
Yes.
Okay, yes. This is why I think that... Okay. All right, so this is what we're doing. We're jumping back to episode 2, and Aaron knew Cody.
Yes.
And on the very first night, all we see, and you got to remember, all these things are edited. And so we don't see everything that
This
happens
one's
or all the
Aaron.
conversations.
Aaron.
Okay, and so you have Aaron and Cody, and Aaron walked up to Cody and sounded completely like a crazy man.
Yes.
Okay, he says something like this.
I didn't like him at first because of that.
Right. Dude, I don't like you, bro. I just don't like you. I don't like you, and I just don't like you. So I got nothing to say to you, and I just wanted to let you know to your face that I don't like you. And I can't help that I don't like you.
Yeah.
And then Cody was like, okay. Well, I don't agree with anything you just said.
Yeah.
I mean, it's your choice to like me or not. And he was like, whatever, dude, I don't like you. And then walked away. And I was like, okay, either this guy has had too much to drink or he's got, I don't know, a little roid rage or something. I don't know what's going on with this dude, but like he just flipped out on him for no reason, right?
Right.
And
well, we were all confused. We were all like, what the heck is going on? Like,
Right.
you didn't even explain why you're flipping out on him. Like, I didn't understand what was going on until Aaron had went up to Katie and said, hey, I know this dude from the past.
Yes. And so that happened in episode 2.
Yes.
Okay. And so because of that conversation, Katie went and spoke with Cody.
Right.
Okay. And Cody tried not to overreact or anything like that. And I feel like I would have kind of acted like Cody when being confronted with something like that.
Who wouldn't?
Like, I would have been like, okay, I'm really not understanding what it is, but I can try to find out and get some more information to you later.
Right.
And so Katie, what she did is she said, I don't even like that reaction. You're gone. And kicked him out like immediately.
Which, okay, if I was in her shoes, I might have just kicked them both out and been like, I don't want any of this drama. I'm here to find love.
Right.
I want to be married. I don't want drama.
So, but now you're saying Aaron is one of your dudes.
Right.
So why? I'm curious. I got to know why.
I don't know, because in this past episode, I think he's really stuck up for Katie. With the whole Carlo situation, he really was like, come on, dude.
He was a voice of reason.
Right. And I really liked that about him.
Yep.
But that's probably the only reason.
Okay. So here's my issue with Aaron. And this happens every season. That these guys start focusing on these guys more than they focus on Katie.
Right.
Okay. And so, unfortunately, they end up knowing more about the dudes that they live with, which I guess is understandable because they're living with these guys. But they make all of their time with Katie or the Bachelorette or whoever it is about the dudes they're living with.
Right.
I've got to imagine that no woman wants to come second to a dude in the house.
Okay, so this is where I stand on that.
Okay.
I think it's good that they go to her about issues that are happening, because I would want to know. I would want to know if there was a guy that wasn't there for the right reasons. I would want to know that, because what if you end up with that guy at the end and then it doesn't work out, which is what happens most of the time, let's be honest. But you're right in a way. I would want to know about that situation, end that conversation, and be like, okay, now tell me more about you.
But can you fall in love with a dude that is just snitching every time you guys get together?
Every time, no. But if it was every time, then no. If it was just once.
You got to remember, they got 30 days in this house, right? It's essentially what they have. Like, is it 3 months, something like that, total?
Something like that.
Okay. And you get not very long with this person at all.
Right.
I mean, they're fighting for, 5 minutes of time with her?
Yeah.
Okay, and if you spend half of that time talking about other things, I just think in the beginning, my mind would be on the person, not whoever's there. And anybody that their mind isn't on her in the beginning. If you also
care about that person, wouldn't you want to be like, hey, this person is...
Here's my thing. I think that these guys' insecurities start shining through when they have to talk about all these other dudes and use it as an excuse to stick up for this person, okay? And if I was on the show and I was like, hey, you know what? I don't even want to talk about these guys. I want to maximize this time to get to know you, to find out if you're a good fit for me.
Right.
Okay, not just if I'm a good fit for you. I mean, that's up to you, but I need to know too. And so I would be using, especially the first couple weeks, to go, okay, am I even into this? You know, if I'm not, then it's
we're
time for
only
me to
in
go.
night 3, and there's already been 3 situations of drama, big time drama.
Yeah,
and that's crazy.
And you know what's crazy is the guys that you said are like your major front runners are the ones that have stayed out of all of the drama.
Yeah.
The ones that have been real, right?
Yep.
And I think that is going to be a lasting tale. I don't think Aaron's going to be around much longer.
I've heard that he's in the top 6.
There's no way you can make it.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? I don't think he's going to make it.
My husband always likes to tell me that the show is rigged and it's scripted. And so I've kind of started to look at it that way.
Yeah, it's here, and I talked to him about that. I said, it's not that it's rigged and it's scripted. It's that it's you have producers that hang around with the cast and everything, and
right.
and they know what works and what doesn't.
Right.
Okay, and so first of all, if I was Katie, I wouldn't even know all these dudes' names. Okay.
So, imagine going to the first rose ceremony.
I'd be like, you.
I would need all of these papers to be like, what's your name?
But that's where you get a good producer to cut in between and go, hey, you know what? Tell me the 3 guys that you are really into. Okay. We want to make sure that those guys are safe.
Right.
We build the proper storylines around them. And then the rest of this, we're going to make ratings.
Right.
And make sure that you keep the guys that stick around.
Well, and to me, I was surprised when she did let go of Carl, because I was like, are we going to keep him to keep the ratings up? Or are we going to get rid of him?
And that was a pleasant surprise too. But I think that there's enough drama with Thomas.
Yes.
That you can let Carl go, because Carl was there. In his approach, if you listen just to the language of what he was saying, right?
From night 1, I didn't like him.
He was not into trying to fall in love. He was trying to win a game.
And he kept referring to it as the game.
Yeah.
Which was sad.
And that comes out in everything that you do. It's kind of like having a mission, and your mission is the driving force behind everything that you do, right?
Right.
And so his mission was to win a game, and so every scenario and everything that he did was to win a game, not to win somebody's heart.
Right.
You know?
And that's just sad.
It is sad. It is sad that he's obviously not mature emotionally enough to be in this process anyways. But I think there's a lot of guys on that show. I think that, so let's clear the air about Thomas. So what's the deal with Thomas?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I didn't mind Thomas. I thought he was an okay guy at first.
Yeah, there's this mystical love thing, right? I don't know what it is about you, but I just love you.
Right.
I don't know what it is about you, but I just love you.
It was the language that he was using. He was, and like all of the guys had said in this past episode, he was manipulative. But I think he was that way to even the people that were watching. We all fell into his
manipulation
spell.
Yeah.
And once he came out and said basically that he was there to be the next Bachelor, that was when I was like, okay, you need to go.
Okay.
Like, then my anger for him just started.
Yeah.
I agree with what all the guys are saying.
But here's the thing, okay? You're coming on the show, all right? I don't think any of them only want to fall in love.
Yeah.
I mean, right? I mean, because if you did, you would join one of these apps instead.
Right.
Okay? But instead, they're going to put their lives on display.
Right.
Okay? And because they know that there is some sort of financial gain because of that. There's a lot of doors that open up being in this world.
Right.
Okay? And love being one of them. But not just love for that person. They start matching him with all the people in that world, right? Mm-hmm. And so you have to be a little narcissistic to get on the show, I'm sure. Okay? You have to want to build some sort of platform. Every single one of these people are on Instagram or things like that.
Right.
Okay. And so Thomas, maybe there's levels to this game. I don't know. But I got to imagine Thomas is in that same boat, maybe just a little bit above that, where he's like, yeah, I wouldn't mind being the next Bachelor.
Yeah, I just think that's pretty douchey.
Yeah.
Like, I get what you're saying. I get where you're coming from. But at the same time, you know that you're coming on the show to hopefully fall in love and be with somebody for the rest of your life, because that's what the show is about.
Right.
And I think if you don't want that opportunity to be able to fall in love with somebody, then I don't think you should. Granted, yes, there are 30 other guys that are also fighting for that spot, but I just think it's wrong to come on the show for anything else. Like, I get that you maybe want to come on the show to be the next Bachelor or Bachelorette, or come on the show to get fame or whatever, but I don't think that's the right way to do it.
So I think the difference between him and the other guys is this. He admitted not knowing who the Bachelorette was when he first signed up. No, none of the other guys did. No, all the other guys knew that it was Katie, and so they signed up, because of that being a byproduct or whatever it may be. But so his number one goal was fame, and then number two was, oh, look, now I'm having feelings for this person.
But is he really?
I don't think so. I think it is a game to him too.
I think so. So I also kind of lost interest in him when they were on the group date
With the circle of trust.
And Nick was there, and you were supposed to open up about something, and he didn't. He explained to her that he would open up to her and give her all the red flags on a one-on, like when they were one-on-one.
And then he didn't.
And then he chose not to. He just kept telling her how much that he liked her and how pretty she was, like all these things about her, but never gave her any of these red flags that he was talking about. And to me, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just kind of was like, I think you're playing a game here, buddy, and you need to go.
So that brings me to another question. So I think we've talked about Thomas enough. So on this show, I watch all these guys interact with this one female.
Yeah.
Okay. And I watch how they all sit down with her, and it's like the same script. Your eyes are beautiful. Your hair is lovely. Yeah. You're so sexy. Blah blah blah. Right.
Yeah. Basically.
But there's only a handful, maybe 3 or 4 out of that whole group of 30. That's 10%. That actually get into details. Like, I love your personality. I love how outgoing you are. I love how confident you walk into a room and say things. I just love the way you're able to be you and look me straight in the eyes and not look down all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Being more specific about what it is they like about her instead of very generic. As a woman, what is your point of view on that?
No, I totally agree with you there. I like when somebody can look me in the eye and just flat out tell me what they need to tell me, whether it's going to hurt me or not, or even not just to tell me that my hair is pretty or my eyes are pretty. Like, I want something, like you were saying, that that's deeper than that.
Right.
So yeah, like, I don't know. That's just, and I try to put myself in this position, even though I'm happily married. I try to be like, well, okay, what would I do in this situation? And night one, who was it? Who was the guy that wore the cat costume? Was that
was Connor?
Connor?
Yep.
Okay. So
I believe that was Connor B.
Okay, so night one, when he was talking to her, I just kept getting the heebie-jeebies because I was like, dude, you keep looking down, you keep looking over, like you're not just looking her in the eyes and talking to her.
So confidence is a big thing.
Yes.
Okay.
And I get that they're all nervous, they're going into something that they've never done before. Like, I totally get that. But let's be a man. But then he got better down the road, and
he's doing really good now.
He is, and I actually really like him now.
Yeah.
But confidence, yes, that's a big thing for me, especially in a man. And that
so how does a man show a woman confidence? And this is for all those men out there, because this is huge. Because, man, there is a lot of men who act like boys when they're around women.
Yes.
Okay? And so you need to step up, be a man, and know that there's a couple of things that, yes, they may help. Like, because all these guys have probably features that are attractive on different levels.
Right, yeah.
Okay? But their confidence takes like a guy that would be a 4 in the looks and takes it up to a 7, right?
Yes, agreed.
It's kind of like how it works,
yes.
right? So what are some things that make men display confidence that it's not over the top?
Well, and two, I'll get to that in a minute, but and two, I think it's not just about confidence. It's about your personality type as well. If you're cocky, then that takes you from an 8 all the way down to a 4. Like, that's just... in my perspective, that's me.
And it's most women. There's things that are attractive just as a whole.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. But confidence, for me, would just be to know who you are as a person, and not need a woman to like show you that. Or not need another person to show you that.
So men, listen, women don't want to be your mom.
Right. Yes.
Right?
Yes. Agreed. I don't want to be your mom. No woman wants to be your mom. I don't want to be your sister either. I don't want to be your grandma. I just want to be your girlfriend or wife or whoever.
Right.
That would be the only two, but.
or whoever. We'll get to the whoever later. So, what are some things that a men can do to display confidence? Or what are some of the examples that you've seen of good confidence on the show, maybe?
Well, it would be looking her right in the eyes. And I don't know, just being able to, this is a big one, especially for me. You can ask my husband. This is a huge one, is to be able to share your feelings. That is, and I know for men, that is a big thing. But for a woman, if you can share your feelings, then that is huge.
So if
that
you can show some
confidence.
tears?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Share your feelings.
Cut.
Spill the beans.
Oh, my goodness.
Get it all out there, okay? Just get it all out there.
So this is something that obviously Katie really likes. She talks about these people being vulnerable.
Yes.
Connor B squirted some tears. Michael squirted some tears, had everybody else crying. Greg's dad dying.
Yeah.
And her dad dying and them sharing that.
Yes.
That was huge, right?
Yeah, that was big.
And that shows confidence. That shows vulnerability. And you have to be pretty confident to be vulnerable.
Yes.
Okay? And there's a difference between being and having a defeatist attitude, where you're just like, this happened to me and I just can't do this anymore.
Right, exactly.
And then waiting for somebody to pick you up.
Right.
To going, you know what? This happened to me. Yes, it affects me, but I'm still moving forward.
Yes.
It's...
and I really liked that interaction between her and Greg, because not only was he really vulnerable and spilled out all of his feelings and what he had went through in his past, but they connected on that deeper level of both of their dads have passed away. At that moment, I'm not going to lie, at that moment, I'm like, all right, it's over. Let's leave.
This is the guy.
This is it.
This is the one.
Yeah, I liked that they shared the fishing experience together as well. I know personally when I was very close with my grandpa and he had passed away, and we always fished. We always went fishing. So for me, that episode was really touching for me. And that's why I really like Greg.
That's cool. That is cool. So here's another question. Because on this show, with all these males in the house, they like to display a bravado, right? There was the mud wrestling episode.
Yes.
there's guys, we call it like your chest swelling up.
Yep.
And they start going, well, you shut up. I'll do this, and I'll come over there right now. Okay, as a woman, what is that? How does that affect you?
It is not attractive.
You kind of see through it?
Yeah, I do. And, okay, first of all, let me just say this. I thought girls were full of drama, and don't get me wrong, we are. We are full of drama. But
you guys have your own drama.
Oh my goodness, men are so much worse.
We're so insecure is what it is.
Yes.
And so we have to, so here's the thing, is most of the time people display their insecurities right out in the open.
Yes.
They show you. Okay.
Yep.
In church, usually the more spiritual you are, the more you're trying to cover up for character deficiencies.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. In the real world, the more tougher you want to be and try to seem, it's to cover up something, some sort of hurt, something you don't want people to see.
Right.
And so even being the loudest or the one that needs all the attention, you're covering up for a lot of insecurities.
And that's kind of what Carl said as well. Before he left, if you didn't hear him, he said the loudest one is always the one that has something to cover up. And when he was talking about that, I was like, "Ooh, is he talking about Aaron?"
Yeah, probably.
Yikes! But no, I do think us women see right through it. That you can be as tough and cocky as you want to be, but we know that something else. And to me, I'm like, just get it out in the open. Like, just tell me what the heck is going on, and let's move past this. Let's stop being Mr. Tough Guy.
So do you think they want to be tough
feelings.
because they want to? Because in the back of men's mind, they have to be the protector.
Yep.
Okay, and they see the woman as the one that needs to feel safe, and so they think that this is a way to display, hey, I can keep you safe.
I think that's a really crappy way to display it, though.
Really? So what would be some like other ways to do it instead of like that? Do you want a guy that can talk himself out of a situation?
No, I don't want somebody that can talk his way out. I want somebody that can stick up for me, but not in a way that they've been doing it on the show. So, or like when she is in a hard situation, then one of the good guys will come up and just talk to her and be like, everything is okay. Like, I don't want it all up front. Right. I want it to be just with me. Like, okay, let's say somebody was coming at me and like saying mean things to me. Of course, I would want my husband to stick up for me. I would want him to be like, this isn't true. You need to go away. Like, she's a great person, yada, yada, yada. Of course, that's what I would want. But I don't want him to get in a mud fight and almost kill each other. Right. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, that's so I was going to say something. I think I can't remember. I'll have to come back to it, but so the displays of violence and different things, I think there's a way that men can show that they're still tough. There's a subtle confidence in not getting sucked into the drama too.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I think that people need to be aware of some of that and how that plays into Katie's feelings. And the one thing that I think when I look at Aaron, I think he's in danger of getting sucked into the friend zone.
Really? I think that of Hunter.
Which one's Hunter?
Hunter, I think I have him right up here because I wanted to talk about him.
The tattoo guy, the guy that he was really good at sticking up for.
This is Hunter.
He's actually come out a lot in sticking up for Katie and saying this drama.
But that's why I think he's gonna be in the friend zone.
That's what I think about Aaron too.
I think Katie's gonna look at him and be like, "Look, you've been my guy to be like sticking up for me, telling me what's going on. I think we're gonna be really great friends."
I think Aaron is that guy, and that's possibly why you might think he makes it to at least the final 6.
Yeah.
Is because he's going to be the one that is friendly.
I mean,
Have they
you
even shared a
could be
kiss?
right. I think they have.
Okay. It was probably awkward. I bet you if we go back and look at that,
I bet you she's probably kissed him also.
I'm just saying that you can tell in body language and how is she, pulls back a little bit. Is she, just there's certain things that says there's no sparks there. He's just a friend.
I think that of Hunter.
We can put them both there because
Yeah.
they both have the same kind of features, characteristics.
I mean, you can really tell who she's starting to have a connection with and who she's not. Because, I mean, it's kind of obvious. And like, the guy that's not getting much showtime is going to be sent home or, just things like that. But I would like to say I like this guy. You know why I like this guy?
Courtney with a Q?
Yes! That's why. I only like him because of his name.
That's funny. He's a good dude, though.
He is, but I don't think he'll last very long.
No?
No, I think he'll go home very soon.
So I'm afraid that Michael, the widower, is gonna go home, and I don't want you guys to all like make that his name, Michael the widower. Like they all have these nicknames, and who are you? He's the widower, and then you got Mike the virgin, and
Mike the virgin,
the virgin, and Michael the widower, right?
Yep.
So what does Michael do for a living? Maybe we can switch his
Which
name.
one?
The widower.
I was gonna say this Michael's a gym owner. The widower he's right up here in front because he was one of my faves too. He's a business owner.
Business owner, Michael the business owner. That's what we'll call him. So the danger with both Michaels, okay, is that they're good dudes, good personalities. They're not very out front. They don't have like huge personalities like some of these other guys. And so the danger is that these guys get swallowed up and just kind of forgotten about because you only have a short period of time to make an impression.
You think Michael will get forgotten?
I hope not. That's my thing is that I was going to ask, like, with a guy like Michael, you need a lot of time to be able to get through some of the layers.
I think their one-on-one went really well. I think he'll stick around. I
hope so.
I don't think he'll leave. I think he'll stick around for a while. I don't know if he'll be the winner, but I think he will stick around.
So one of the things that I really liked about yesterday's episode was the credits. And they were sitting there talking about the stars and just joking around.
Yeah. I did see that.
And that's when I think of love. That's kind of what I think of is those moments like that, interactions.
And I like
that.
to see things like that, like the joking around. Like for me as a woman, that's what I really like. The funny type joking around, and I felt like during the credits that's what it was.
It's like the cameras weren't there and they were just hanging out.
Right.
And that's
the way it should be.
And that's what longevity in a relationship really needs is those moments, those inside jokes that build over time, those kind of things,
Yep.
Where people can just be authentically themselves no matter what that is, and the stupid goofy can come out, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
Let's see here. Well, I think we gotta talk about as we kind of close. I don't know what time it is. Yeah, as we kind of wrap it up, let's talk about Katie's story coming out with the sexual assault. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh my goodness, I have a lot of thoughts about that just because. As a person that was in her shoes, I don't know, and this is what I was saying about earlier, like how she is so driven by sex. Being in that position, that's what I don't understand. I think Katie is a great person, but I don't understand how she can be so driven by sex when that did happen.
And I don't know if she's driven by sex. I think that she has minimized sex so much that it doesn't play it's not, she kind of put it down at a level that, okay, this isn't like a surprise or a shock thing,
Right.
and she uses the shock value of it to bring it out into the open, more or less, because one of the statements that she made was this, is that when she was assaulted, she didn't know how to react.
Right.
And she went and did things in the wrong way. So she would have sex a lot,
Right.
to try to overcome this guilt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and one of the things that she did too is she fell into the trap of falling, or at least trying to fall in love with her assaulter.
Right.
Okay, and that happens more often than not.
Yep.
And I think what she's trying to do is go, okay, you know what? Sex does not define me, and I can just throw it out there, and now I can live freely. And,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's a part of me. I'm not a part of it.
Right. Right.
You know, it's not bigger than who I am.
Right. And I liked that part. I mean, she was definitely very vulnerable in that moment, and I think it was good for her to be, especially with all the other guys sharing what they were sharing. I thought it was good for her to share something. I don't know if I would have been comfortable with sharing that in a whole group setting.
Right.
But I give her mad props for doing that. But I get what you're saying. It's still a toughy situation, though. It's still, I don't know. I just see Katie as somebody that is okay with touch and okay with kissing different guys and things like that. And I
Just not okay with it.
Yeah, no.
No, and I think, you know, so being a Christian, a believer, sex is defined differently
Mm-hmm.
to me.
Right.
And sex is something that's very personal, very,
Yes.
you know, that once you give that part of yourself away to somebody, they have it forever.
Right.
Okay. And you've given yourself to that person forever. It's not something that should be done lightly. I believe that marriage is the time for that, where
Right.
you can explore with your spouse and open up to your spouse and take the intimacy further than, you know, you could at a first date or one night stand or anything like that.
Right.
Okay. And I think what our society, our culture is missing is we have fallen into the trap that sex can be boring after 20 years of marriage.
Yes.
And the reality is that sex doesn't start up here and then drop. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sex starts down here and can build through trust and just exploring who each other are. And when you can trust somebody wholeheartedly to be there, the intimacy level goes through the roof. At least it should.
Right.
And you know, I was talking with Pastor AJ actually, and I said, you know what, two of the things that break up a marriage, do you know what they are?
Financial.
Okay, so
and
money,
sex
and money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you put those two together, it's illegal.
Yep.
Except for
That's
in
true.
Vegas, right? Just
True.
so, anyways, but it's not even sex and money. It's the communication about sex and money.
Yes.
Okay, it's not the fact that money or the lack of money ruins relationships, or the super influx of money ruins relationships. It's the fact that couples can't discuss and talk about what my goals are financially and how do we get there.
Right.
Okay, but the same approach could be said about sex, is that we fall into a trap of saying that, well, this person can't give me what I want. Well, the problem is that you don't feel comfortable in actually expressing what it is you want.
Right.
And the couple usually hasn't gotten to a level where they can just talk through that kind of stuff. And I think that's one thing that I hope when Katie meets her one, that she'll be able to talk through. And it sounds like she would. And,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I totally agree. I hope that she is able to reach that point at some point when she does figure out who she wants to be with. I just hope that she doesn't make mistakes
Yeah.
going along. Because a lot of people in this position, especially around fantasy suite times, decide to take things further. And I hope for Katie's sake that she does not.
Right. And so I guess a couple things you can take away from this would be, one, sexual assault is nothing that should be embarrassing. And it shouldn't be covered up. And so I applaud her for being brave enough to share it, whether it be in a circle or on TV or whatever, because the victim should not be what's the word, like, blamed. We don't want to victim blame or victim shame people, right?
Right.
And because something happened to us, we feel shame about that act.
I think there will, and I get what you're saying. I totally understand where you're coming from, but I think being a victim, no matter what, you're always gonna feel some kind of shame.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you work through things, even if you are happily married, you will always feel some kind of shame.
Yeah, because somebody stole something from you.
Exactly.
Okay. And that can never be replaced.
Right.
Okay. And so what I think is, do you know that 1 out of every 4 females has been assaulted?
Yep.
Okay, that's an alarming amount.
It is.
Okay. And yet we don't hear about it often enough.
Nope.
Okay, I know we started the Me Too thing and things like that. And here's my thing with social change and everything like that. With, I'm obviously African American, right?
Right.
Or black, is blacker than black. I'm black, y'all. That's a CV4 reference. Anyways. But we... so in our culture, I talk about some of this stuff about women. Okay, women have been thrown to the side just like people of color have in our society.
Mm-hmm.
Proof of that is in our Constitution.
Yep.
Okay, any time a document deems somebody less than human, that's wrong. Okay. And so we've pushed women aside so much that even until the 70s in certain parts of our country, rape wasn't illegal. Okay? That should be alarming to people. That's sick. To think that 40 years ago, rape wasn't even illegal. Okay? So when rape would happen, the police would tell women not to share about it, don't talk about it, and if you heard some of the public service announcements, the things they told women to do is not wear a dress, don't do this, and all the things they listed were things that the women did, and they blamed the women, and so what happens is our society sticks with this idea. It's burned into our heads. And so we push this even 41 years from then, okay, and go, okay, well, what did you do to deserve this? What happened to you? Why were you in this position? And I think Katie brought some light to that and going, hey, I thought it was my fault because I drank too much. But the reality is that the act happened, and nobody forced this person to do something to you.
Right.
Okay. And so as the victim, you have a choice with any victimization. Okay. You have the choice to play the victim or to rise above that,
right,
and not let that thing drive your life down. Because the one thing that a victim never does is win.
Right.
Okay, when we have that mentality of, I'm going to play victim, I want people to feel sorry for me, and I don't think that's what she was trying to do, is go, hey, I'm going to make people feel sorry for me,
right,
because that doesn't do anything, right?
Right.
I think she was going, hey, you know what? I'm putting this out there so that it doesn't define me. and I can empower myself to be better than this situation and grow above this. And if she can do that, then hopefully if 25% of all women in a given area have went through this, then hopefully we can empower them to rise above the things that they went through too.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the good things that I think came out of this.
Yeah, I agree. And they had the whole spiel at the end as well of being sexually assaulted. And
if I say anything offensive or in what would be called not just something that's not that could be taken wrong or anything like that, just please correct me, because my goal is to be better too.
Yeah, no, I think that everything that you're saying, I think that's totally true. As a victim and things like that, it's just a lot easier said than done, and I'm sure you understand that. But I like I said, I totally agree with what you're saying, and at some point we do have to move past it and get the help that we need and not stay a victim. No, because life doesn't get better if we just stay victimized. Right. You know what I mean? And we stay in that situation. You yourself have to make your situation better. Yeah. You can't just wait for somebody to come pick you up. Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. You can only control you. Right. You have power over you. And at a certain point, and that's why I think, being believers, we have a source of hope that's bigger than us, right? Yep. And that's who we rely on to go, okay, Lord, I need the strength to help me to pick me up. Yep. But so I think that's a good thing that came out of the show. Yes. And I think just hopefully we get some of these men to start acting like men, right? Yes, please. Stop being man-childs. I think every part of the men that are there have a certain attractiveness to them, but as soon as they get into these man fights or these things come out, right? It's just, and it's only night 3, people. Yep. Like, we're on episode 3, and there's already been so much drama. Yeah. And it's only going to get worse as people start to know each other a little bit better. And well, let's go through you want to go through the list real quick and just say yes or no to who do you think is... Yeah, well, let's start with my list here. Okay, let's start with your list. Since we've got bigger faces. So, Hunter. Hunter is so friend zone. Yep, I agree. He's friend zoned. Friend. Yep. We've already got Carl out of the way. Carl's gone. Yep, he's gone. Michael. Thank you, Lord. We already established Michael, I want him to be a finalist. Yes, I think he will be. Okay, so he's in my I'll say top 5. Yes. Okay. I think he's in my top 3. Okay. Yeah. I would have went 3's kind of strong. So. Yep. Well, I think I only have top 2. So. We have Greg. Greg is this one. Greg's in my top 3 too. Yes. So. He's probably my runner-up. I'll say top 5. He's probably my top 1. Yeah. I really like Greg. I just don't know if he's ready yet. And I think it'll start to come out a little bit. Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. With his wife, yeah. Well, his dad is the one that died. Oh, yeah, his dad. I just don't think he's ready vulnerably just to... He's so shy and so... I don't know. I could say that about Michael, though. Yeah, but... Yeah. I think Michael's is a personality thing, and I don't know. We'll see. Okay, we'll see. I like them both. I hope they're both ready. Aaron, no. Friend zone, big time. I don't know. I think he'll last. I think he will. I think he'll last. Aaron. Christian. We haven't heard much about him. No, and he's just got the looks that would be like, yeah, I'll be there at the end. That's what he looks like.
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know about him.
I don't know. I don't know too much about that dude.
We have Andrew.
Andrew.
He's one. Okay, so
he's the lawyer.
So let me just say this. AJ was watching it with me, like the first or second episode, something like that. And he was like, there's no Asian people. I was like, no, I think there's one or two. He was so excited because he saw an Asian person.
So Andrew is the Asian
yes,
vote. And he's an attorney.
He is an attorney.
Dude, I hate arguing with attorneys.
I used to work for attorneys.
Yeah, they're so literal.
Yeah.
I
don't think he'll last, unfortunately.
I don't either. I just don't think as an attorney, I don't think that's her personality type.
No. We have Andrew S.
Andrew S. I like this dude.
I like him, but I don't think he'll last.
I think he's going to end up being friend zoned.
Yes, I agree.
Because he's just not romantic enough.
Yeah.
And she needs somebody that drives that fire. You know what I mean? That passion. Yeah. And I just don't see it. I need him to turn it up. Turn it up, Andrew.
Oh, he was the one with I thought it was hilarious with the whole fake accent.
Yes.
In the
beginning. He was the British dude?
Yes. I really thought that was funny.
I like him. I really do like him. I hope that he can turn it up. Turn up the heat because
I agree.
He needs to.
He's
falling behind in that category, the passion category.
Yeah. No, I hope I agree.
Dudes.
I hope he can. I like him. I think he's nice. I think he's funny.
Yep.
So I agree. We have Josh.
Josh, again, another guy that just disappeared. I don't know who he is.
Same. I don't
So I don't know. And they do that sometimes. They show like only 5 people or so. And then you just like, is that dude still on the show?
Yeah. And then it will get to like the men tell all and
yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you were totally there.
Yeah, I remember you.
Or it'll be like, who were you?
Yeah. And that's why I like Bachelor in Paradise. You get to know some of these guys a little bit better.
Yeah. We have Justin.
Justin.
I don't think he'll last.
I don't think so either.
No.
I
think he'll go soon. We have Courtney.
Courtney, well, you got to vote for Courtney, right?
I know. We're just awesome.
I just don't think he's going. I don't know too much.
I don't think he will last.
Again, and you know what it is? A lot of this is there's no sexual chemistry with some of these guys.
Yeah.
And you can see it.
Yeah.
And
or
I think that's an element, right? Like chemistry at all. Like there's no passion there.
Mm-hmm.
And some of these guys, I mean, you're running out of time. So
we have Mike.
I like Mike.
I like Mike.
Dude won a group date rose when they had to talk about sex.
Yes. And
he was a virgin.
Yep.
He won. I mean, I think he did a good job of.
And I felt so bad for him being on that date, but I think it was so good for him. And
I think it was good for everybody.
Yes.
Because you know what he did that was different than everybody else is what we talked about earlier about being confident enough to speak depth.
Yes.
About that person.
Yep.
Not just the superficial hair, eyes.
And not only that, but he had the courage to do that in front of not just the men that were on the group date, but all the men in the house because they were all there.
Yes. So I like him. I think I'm curious to see how these two dynamics play.
I hope that he's not putting on a front. As a Christian, I hope he's not putting on a front.
I hope so too.
Okay.
What does that say about us that we're so we suspect everybody? Like, what are you doing? What's wrong with that guy? You know, that's the first thing we think of. And so if we're gonna want grace for people like Chris Harrison, then I think we got to give it to people like this and just take people at face value. Yeah. Until they give us something.
I mean, he looks like a good guy.
I think so too.
He looks like a good guy. So.
Thomas. Who else? Thomas. Tool.
Yeah, Tool.
Tool. He's a tool.
I hate him. I shouldn't say that.
Hate
is a strong word.
Cut that. We dislike him strongly for this woman.
Yes.
And this situation.
Yes.
Him as a person, he seems nice, but not the person for her.
He's got some big ears.
Wow.
Okay, we have Jay.
Do women look at ears? Do women look at men's nails?
I don't don't look at men's nails. No.
Do you hear other women looking at men's nails?
This is gonna be weird. I look at men's feet. You know why? I absolutely hate feet. Like, in this case, I will use the word hate because I absolutely hate feet.
I hate feet too.
It's disgusting.
I keep mine covered up.
Well, I like to have mine shown because it's the summertime and it's hot.
Yeah, not me. Mine. I keep my dogs in the wraps.
Anyway,
Trey.
I forget about him.
He
Gets lost.
He does more interacting with the men than her.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of these men get in trouble. I like Trey. I think Trey would be cool to see. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I just think he gets kind of lost and not there. I think all these other guys are eliminated already.
Really?
Oh, no, we have Connor.
Connor C or Connor B?
Connor B.
Both. Okay, Connor B I like.
I like Connor B.
That's the cat dude. I didn't like the cat dude at first.
I know. I didn't either.
You know, I was like, dude, come on, man. Are you serious? It was like the dolphin chick from way back in the other season. You remember who I'm talking about.
I feel like I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. You didn't get to know her until Paradise. And then you're like, oh, she's kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know, she'll never find love on the show.
Yeah. One person
But she's kind of funny.
I actually don't have in here. And I need
Connor C?
No, is James.
Box guy. So, James, you like him.
I do like him.
Yeah.
I think he gets lost a lot.
I think he's a tool. I think he's a one-trick pony.
Really?
Yeah.
We haven't really gotten to know
he
James
went from
yet.
box to smaller box.
No, I don't think we've gotten to know him.
He hasn't come
yet.
out of the box yet, is what I'm saying,
I
right?
think he's still in the shadows of some of the other guys. I think he's still in the box.
Yeah. So, James...
But I do like him. I do like it.
So, here's the struggle with this show. A lot of the guys are very chiseled and cookie cutter, right? Mm-hmm. And that's... So, we end up falling for somebody over their looks and not seeing their personalities.
Right.
Which that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to go into the personalities and different things like that. But James, I think he has a danger of looking like a tool.
Yeah.
You know, if he's got to show something, and he's still there. So
I think the reason, I think you're going off his looks. I think that's what you're doing, because I don't think we've
or
gotten
the box
to know.
jokes. I mean, the box thing. The dude is disciplined, right? I mean, he stayed in the box for a long time.
I give him mad props for that.
Right? He was like, I'm gonna make this joke work.
Oh my god, I could not. Do
He's
it.
ready to be a dad. Dad joke.
Gosh.
Get it?
But I think we haven't gotten to know James yet. I think he's still in the shadows. I think.
But that falls into a lot of the dudes.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I think it's just because I really like James.
All right.
Anyways, we have
Brendan, not to be mistake. Oh, Brandon, not to be mistaken for Brendan.
Yeah.
Brandon is eliminated. Brandon's not, and Brandon, I have no idea who you are. You're Canadian, bro.
Yeah, I just remember. All I remember is him being a part of the whole fight with Thomas.
Oh, okay.
He was speaking up. That's all I know about him. So I'm like, I don't know him.
And the guy who actually spoke up was Mike.
Yeah.
Mike the Virgin spoke up in the rose ceremony and was like, listen, this isn't right. Yes. And that says a lot about the dude. He's mature.
He spoke up with the whole Carl situation.
Yep, Carl.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, Thomas. The Thomas one was after that, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't been to the rose ceremony for that one yet.
That's going to be interesting.
I know, this poor woman, she goes into all these rose ceremonies with drama.
Yeah. All right, we got David.
I don't really remember him.
I know. And now I got to start actually remembering. Is Tennessee, was he the truck guy with the balls?
Yeah.
Was that him or was that Trey?
No, I think that I don't know.
All right. Well, we're still working on it, guys.
Yeah.
So
I think some of these guys are just forgetful.
Yeah, they end up going into the friend zone. And you've got to have passion out the gate. And that will give you time to get in the layers of who that person is.
Yeah. And we have Connor C.
Yeah.
He looks like a great guy, but he also looks like a player.
Former baseball player?
Baseball, yes.
Baseball. Yeah, I don't know. Again, all these guys, they got to step up their game.
Yeah.
You know? Here's a question. Okay, this is solely sidebar. So Michael, one thing I notice about him is he constantly asks, "Can I kiss you?"
Yeah.
Is that romantic?
No,
Or does that kill
it's
it,
not.
Right? Okay.
It's just like, just do it.
Right?
Just
And so
do it.
so he falls into the category of kissing with your eyes open.
Ugh.
Like creepy, right? That's a creepy thing. So yeah, but I'm totally oh man, now here's my thing. Okay? I'm totally with Michael though when it comes to advancing on a woman. Like, hey, do you mind if I kiss you?
That's so weird.
I know, I get it. My wife would say the same thing.
That is just so weird, and I'm just like, if you want to do it, then just do it. If you
But
don't,
then
just...
how do you take the hint? What is the hint to that this guy or these guys need to look for?
I think she's doing a pretty good job of giving them hints on how to or when to do it.
So most guys fall into the category of not being able to pick up hints.
That's true. My husband's being one of them.
Yeah, mine too. me too. For my wife, I'm like, dude, just tell me what you need. If you want me to kiss you, just tell me to kiss you, because I don't pick up on the hints. I don't get it. But watching it, I watch as she leans in.
Yeah, or another thing is if she looks at their lips.
Oh. Be watching everybody and be like, "You looking at my lips, girl? Hey, you looking at my lips?"
AJ always tells me that
AJ, you looking at my lips? Stop looking at my lips, man.
Oh my goodness. AJ always tells me to stop looking at his lips because it's not that I always want to kiss him, but I just, for some reason, when you're talking to me, I'm just like, for me to really comprehend what you're saying, I look at your lips to
I
understand.
think of you as a piece of meat. I don't hear anything you said. No, that's too funny. Okay, so I think we've got enough for this week.
I think she needs to stop kissing people.
Yeah, but they all do that.
I know.
And so here's the thing. You got to remember, okay, they are in this little bubble. And all they have is themselves for 24 hours a day for 3 months.
Yeah.
And so I think that's part of the process. I wouldn't recommend my daughter kissing
30 men
or 2 men at that.
Exactly.
But this is a process that they're in, and it's it's kind of like a science experiment.
Sure. I just think it's a lot of kissing.
It is. It is. It's not corona friendly.
No. No.
You got the virus.
Oh my goodness.
All right. We're good? If you have any questions or comments or questions that you want us to answer for these upcoming weeks, leave a comment.
Or if you want us to spill what we think about a situation, then we're happy to do that.
So we're going to keep this thing rolling. We'll see you guys later. This
Bye.
is Anthony and Courtney talking
Bye.
about The Bachelorette.
Bye.
Deuces.
You guys need a title.
Look at his lips. Luscious
Stop.
lips.